Hello students. In the previous video, I promised you that I would further talk about Chaucer's time and the genres popular during his time, etc. I would discuss these things with you. So, in spite of the English language having been thrown into the background, some works were composed in this language, though they echoed in the main the sentiments and the tastes of the French writers, as French then was the supreme arbiter of European literary style. So what were the popular genres during this period? The romances, first of all. Let us discuss romances. The most popular form of literature during the Middle English period was the romances. No literary productions of the Middle Ages are so characteristic, none so perennially attractive as those that treat romantically the heroes, the heroines of bygone days. These romances are notable for their stories rather than their poetry, for the spectacles. And they, like the drama afterwards, furnished the chief mental recreation of the time for the great body of the people. These romances were mostly borrowed from Latin and French sources. So these romances, the influence of Latin and French works can be perceived on these English romances. They deal with the stories of King Arthur, particularly the War of Troy, the mythical doings of Charlemagne and of Alexander the Great. These, great warriors were celebrated in the English romances. The other two popular genres of the period are the miracles and morality plays. In the Middle English period, miracle plays became very popular. From the growth and development of the Bible story, scene by scene, carried to its logical conclusion, this drama developed to an enormous cycle of sacred history, beginning with the creation of man, his fall, his banishment from the Garden of Eden, and extending through the more important matters of the Old Testament and life of Christ in the New Testament, to the summoning of quake and the dead on the day of final judgment. That means the doomsday. So from the origin of man to the doomsday. This kind of drama is called the miracle play, sometimes less correctly the mystery play. And it flourished throughout England from the reign of Henry II to that of Elizabeth, till you can say 1603. Another form of drama which flourished during the Middle Ages was the morality plays. In these plays, the uniform theme is the struggle between the powers of good and the powers of evil for the mastery of the human soul, for the mastery of the soul of man. The personages were abstract values or vices, each acting and speaking in accordance with his name, and the plot was built upon their contrasts and influences on human nature. Like despair is a character. The 7 deadly sins generally are, they come on the stage, they are personified. So, with the intent to teach right living and uphold religion, they come on the stage. In a word, allegory is the distinguishing mark of the moral plays. In these moral plays, the protagonist is always an abstraction. He is mankind. He is the human race. He is the pride of life. And there is an attempt to compass the whole scope of man's experience and temptations in life, as there had been a corresponding effort in the miracle plays to embrace the complete range of sacred history, the life of Christ and the redemption of the world. Now I will talk about the very famous, the popular writers in the medieval period, before or after, soon before or soon after Chaucer. The first is William Langland, who was born in 1332, one of the greatest poets of the Middle Ages was William Langland, and his poem A Vision of Piers the Plowman holds an important place in English literature. In spite of its archaic style, it is a classical work in English literature. The language may be crude, but it's a classical work. This poem, which is a satire on the corrupt religious practices, throws light on the ethical problems of the day. The character assumed by Langland is that of the prophet denouncing the sins of society and encouraging men to aspire to higher values in life, to reach to higher standard in life. He represents the dissatisfaction of the lower and the more thinking classes of English society, as Chaucer represents the content of life, the content of the aristocracy and the prosperous Middle Ages. Although Langland is essentially a satiric poet, he has divided views on political and social questions. He doesn't propound a theory. His views are not united. His views are divided. The feudal system is his ideal system because he saw only the feudal system. He did not have any great in-depth knowledge of democracy. And he thinks that all would be well if different orders of society would do their duty if they adhered to their duties.